Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Empire Partner Foundation Studios podcast, Voices on Social Challenges. And today we actually just ran into this person. Don't know that much about him. He doesn't know much about me. But today we're gonna be learning, about each other in some sense. So, first of all, man, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's a bit hot today. Load shedding is crazy. And
Yeah.
It's just
Greyston is not a nice place to be.
yeah.
Just stay off the roads.
But actually, let's start talking about this. First of all, what is your name?
My name is Tshidiso Vatsha. I am co-founder and chief marketing officer at a company known as Mapha, formerly Mapha Logistics, but now we just go by Mapha.
Oh yeah, I can see by the show over this says Mappa. I like the
Fully
little
branded.
logo there. It looks like a hand. but
Fully
also
branded
like-
today, yeah. So that's literally like a waiter's hand, and he's holding a tray.
Oh, it's a tray.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
a tray. It's a tray, and then I guess Mapha, if you don't know, Mapha is a colloquial term we use to mean "can I have some?"
I had no idea that's what it meant.
Yeah, so when you say Mapha, it's "can I have some?" So that was the whole idea then.
Also, I do like the logo. It looks like you said, waiter's hand, but for some reason, also sort of plain. The first time I took a quick glimpse of it,
Yeah,
which kind of, I guess, in your area would make sense because of logistics,
Right.
transportation.
exactly.
But now let's get into it because I heard through the grapevine that you actually recently won an award at something.
Yes,
So, tell us more
so
about that.
sure thing. So Mapha was fortunate enough to be chosen as one of 5 startups in SA, to be awarded the Google for Black Founders Fund 2022 award. They select very few companies out of literally millions that apply on the whole continent. So we were fortunate enough to be selected to be one of them for 2022.
Well, that is a really big achievement. How many people were actually involved, or how many people took part in that competition?
Oh, the actual number they never did give us.
If you had to guess.
If I would guess, probably like 1.5 million applications.
That is impressive.
You can imagine though, because it's not just a South African based award, it's international.
National.
Yeah, so they literally have to nitpick.
Honestly, like out of 1 point, let's say roughly 1.5 million applications, you were the one that actually won.
Yeah, so we managed to get through.
How did that make you guys feel as like a company? And,
Well, it's humbling mostly to be recognized as a company that is at the forefront of the industry.
yeah.
I think when you're always working in the business, you never really figure out how far you're going in terms of strides, and then to get that global recognition where Google says, "Hey guys, we see you. You're doing something
Google's
amazing."
massive.
Exactly. You're doing something amazing, and we want to help you launch that internationally.
And there's one question I like to ask everyone I interview, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I always like hearing the backstories of how they actually came up to, the owning this business. Because I had one person come over here on our channel, Mpo, I forgot his surname. I'm so sorry if you're watching this. I'm really bad with names, but essentially he told me that his backstory, that his father never had, that didn't have much, but he as far as built himself up.
Yeah.
And then this kid as well didn't have that much and built himself up into his own business where they do branding on clothes, trucks, everything that's going well. It's called Artistic Ghetto. That's the company that he runs.
Okay.
He started from nothing, and now he actually has a good running business.
That's amazing.
So stories like that I always love to hear. So what's your story, man?
My story is I don't know if it's unique, really, but
I mean, look, in my opinion,
yeah.
no story is the same. It may
Okay.
sound similar, but no story is the same.
Okay, sure. I grew up in Johannesburg, Midrand, a little town in Joburg, and I schooled around. It was a local school there called Midrand High School, and I went to Wits when I was done. I studied psychology for my first 3 years, and then
What type of psychology? Because we also had someone else on here as well, and they told me there's something called an industrial psychologist.
so we did industrial psychology as
Oh,
well.
okay. So which psychology did you go into? Industrial? or-
Industrial, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I did industrial for 3 years. When I was done, I went to Wits Business School, my postgrad in business. And I think it was literally that decision you have to make when you're final year studies, that it's either I go work or
Right,
I start my own venture, right? And I was always entrepreneurial by nature, I've always had something that I was doing on the side, even while studying. My first company I started probably when I was 15, 16 years old.
What was that first company? Because this is interesting. A 15-year-old having their first company.
I've actually never spoke about this publicly, those who know, but it was a little company called Reverse, and it was a group of guys who came together, initially started doing dance shows, and would actually get paid for dancing at events, and then we started producing merchandise. We started selling that. So it was something that would be typical of a teenager, I guess, selling merchandise, getting your name out there.
Just speaking, the reverse thing, Did you guys ever post it on social media by any chance?
Yeah, we did. 2014. You should be able to find it.
Yeah, no, because I remember like in grade 8 and stuff, like my friend was just showing like some kids dancing the line and
That
stuff.
was
It was
literally us, I promise.
like everyone like in the high school, or the high school I went to, they were like everyone tried copying and stuff. Oh, that was you guys. Small world.
We used to dance, and we did that for years. And then, I think we grew out of it really when we got to varsity.
I mean, look, eventually everyone grows out of it.
Exactly.
Because I know my friends that we used to do, kind of stupid, like we used to pretend we went fishing, but we wouldn't actually go fishing. We would just like go to Norcliffe Hill and then pretend we had a fishing rod, just cross it over, just like as a fun thing. People thought we were on drugs or something. It was just funny.
Can you imagine? That place gets kind of packed though.
Yeah, no, but then like after a while, we just like it's kind of like it's fun, but it's kind of boring and it's run out this time. But now, speaking of that 15-year-old, how different are you from now when you were 15? With that idea, the same mindset and entrepreneurial set as well.
At the time, it really was for fun. Money was a second thought. I mean, we didn't really care how much we made. If people like this thing, then but now when you grow up, I think you get more responsibility and you realize the seriousness of what you're doing. I think with Mapha, especially with all the founders, we grew up together. Went to the same high school, same primary school.
So it's still the same guys all together. Oh, so you guys went from dancing to?
Oh no. So Reverse was a different company with some of my friends.
Oh, okay.
This company was other friends exactly in the same school, so we're all in the same environment. I guess we were so lucky to come back together and just start a little venture. But with us, we're more focused on how big this thing can be in terms of changing how people actually do things, right? I actually came from a meeting earlier today where I was telling the gentleman there how it's kind of ridiculous that, I stay in the suburbs and I can't get a power bank delivered to me in an hour. It's small things like that that make you realize how far you have to go in terms of stride.
Yeah, because I know in the States, like with Amazon being the biggest distributor, internationally and nationally in America, if you order, like, example, power bank, you'll get it the same day.
Exactly.
Like, I just ordered like 2 really small things on Takealot.
Yeah.
They said only get here by Friday. And today's Tuesday. I'm just wondering, it's too small. And they have stock. It says, on Takealot, it says stock in Cape Town and Joburg. I'm just like, if it's stock in Joburg.
Exactly, and they're the biggest. They literally control most of the e-commerce here.
Takealot is pretty much our Amazon.
Literally, right? Amazon's about to come now. I see they're setting up shop in Cape Town. So.
Actually, when they do that, I'm gonna be much better because right now I was looking at stuff to get on Amazon. Yeah. It's so reasonably priced until you see the shipping price. Because I saw something for like I think 200 or 300 rand, like an iPhone case. Yeah. It's like, oh cool, that's a really nice iPhone case. I've been looking for one exactly like this.
Hey, but now you have to pay customs.
Yeah, it said like 320 like price, and then I clicked almost play, and then it said shipping and cost extra 400. I'm like,
can you imagine that, bro? Like, so them coming to our shows is quite exciting. Then we have these big guys like fighting it out to see who's gonna win. And then there's us, right? The smaller guys. We're really about setting up that network so that when companies like Amazon arrive, they don't have to build out their own distribution network. They can just use yours.
So you've been talking about your business like very vaguely, or in my opinion, like I don't know.
Yes.
So let's actually get down to it. Finally, what is Mapha?
So Mapha is an on-demand last mile delivery service. We provide delivery as a service to small businesses, peri-urban and township areas mostly. We do operate in suburban areas as well, but mostly our focus is on getting the smaller businesses in the townships up and running. They don't really have a footprint anywhere besides 2 to 5 kilometers radius where they stay. Right? We want to help them expand that. Go 5, go 10, go 15 kilometers.
Victoria length.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm a merchant in Tembisa, I should be able to transport my things to Victoria. Why not?
Also, we actually have a company in this eco-space very similar to your idea. They're TDM. I don't know if you've spoken to them earlier or not.
So literally 8 a.m. this morning, I had to rush here because I found out we have a workshop with TDM.
Oh, wow, small world again.
So we were helping TDM get some merchants. They're about to get these mobile carts that they use. So they have dynamic businesses now. Right? And it's going to be branded Mapha TDM. Exciting stuff we're doing with TDM. So yeah.
I can't wait to actually see it like from TDM or from your guys' side. Another thing I want to know is what actually inspired you to do, to actually go into Mapha or actually co-found Mapha? Was it because you were just tired of that service delivery or you wanted to make a change in general?
Well, when Mapha came about, it was around 2016. The idea was completely different. The same group of founders, and the idea at the time was to really create a food sharing platform. You know, if you're my neighbor and you have an extra plate that you're making today, say, hey neighbor, I have a plate. You upload it.
Or it's kind of like the thing you see like that old American movies, like, oh, you go to neighbor's house, get a cup of sugar, and then you return it.
Well, it was mostly around available food that's been cooked. You know, like in my area, for example, if I'm a bachelor and I don't get food because I don't cook for myself, I can go on Mapha and see someone in my area is cooked. I book a plate, I pay online, I go to their place, I collect the food.
Your logo's making much more sense now that I'm thinking about it. The whole waiter, the food, that's actually wow.
So that's when the logo came about.
Yeah.
And the idea for a delivery platform came out, which really was a kind of like a morphing of this old idea into a new one. We liked the logo so much, we didn't want to change it.
I mean, I wouldn't if I was you, because
And
now that after you telling me what the whole story behind it, what that actually does, I'm speechless. I guess.
And we play around with it quite a bit. I mean, go check us out.
Nice design, yeah.
Go check us out. Mapha_logistics on Instagram. Most socials really, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, we're all there. And you'll see how we play around with our logo. I think our ads are
definitely
quite fun. Yeah.
The final question, and I'll ask everyone this question, or something similar to this question. You can actually ask you two questions. That's fine. So first question: if let's say someone's watching this video, right, and they don't have any, they want to be an entrepreneur. One day, what advice would you give them?
I'd say it has to come from inside, really. It's you're never gonna know what it's gonna be like. So don't even try to think about the next 2 or 3 years. I promise you, it's literally blank, right? You just have to like the idea so much that you're willing to die for it, really. You know? And knowing that if you fail, it's fine because you've learned so much more than you did, when you started. I mean, we've been in this business for almost 3 years now.
I mean, look, that's 3 years for for a brand new business. That's impressive because most businesses don't make it through the first year.
They don't. And I mean, year one, you feel like things are moving so slow that you might want to give up. Year two, things move even slower, right? And you're like,
year
okay.
three.
Year three, things start to pick up. And there's this thing in South Africa, and I think it's even global, where it takes about 3 years to raise your first round of funding as a small business. In South Africa, this could take up to 5. I mean, access to capital here is not the same as globally, right? So you can't even comprehend how long you're gonna have to wait before things pick up. You know, no matter how big your idea is, because there are great ideas out there. There's many of them. So we're all trying to get to a point where we can make these ideas come to life. So you have to really be passionate about what you're doing. You know, they say, "Oh, no, passion is not real." Well, you can make it real if you want to. Just fall in love with the idea of really starting something new, right? What you think your business is going to be, it's probably going to change a few times in the first few years, right? So if you wanted to, and like I was saying to you earlier, it was food sharing at the beginning, but then now it's delivery. You know, there was no delivery network back in 2016 to even move this food, get it to your house. This is something we have now. It's a convenience. I can't imagine living without food delivery. But there was a time before this, you know. We need to get to a point where moving things around is as cheap as buying bread. You know,
bread is actually going up in price. I think when I went to buy a loaf of bread for my mom and I, it cost us, I think, 20 rand or like
one loaf.
For one loaf.
Can you imagine?
I was like a couple years ago it was like 12 rand or 10 rand. Now it's like
so the price of things will always go up, but I need us to really get logistics to a point where the kids are so used to things getting delivered. It's like second nature. Why would I go buy fast food? Just get it delivered to my house, right? Yeah. That's not something we grew up with. So in 2026, 2027, it should be a norm in South Africa the same way it is globally. I mean, like you said, Amazon can bring your stuff now.
Like I even saw in the States recently, there was they still use people to deliver food, but they have these little robots that, if you're in the campus square and stuff, these little robots have food inside them. They'll drive to your dorm or your apartment. They'll notify you on your phone. You go pick up for the food from the robot and then it goes away. It's just
It's dope.
Amazing. And final question. This is actually a brand new question. Haven't asked anyone this one, so I guess you can feel special for this one.
I do. I hope it's a good one.
It's a thinker.
Okay.
It's a thinker. Did you ever think you'll be here in 5 years?
5 years ago.
Yeah. Did you ever think you'll be where you are right now in life? No, I told you it's a thinker.
I probably did. No, I was proper ambitious. I've always believed in myself. I was proper because to me it wasn't like such a big thing. I mean, if you have a plan and you every day you just consistently do what you plan out to do, I don't think you can fail. Really, failure is like a second.
Failure is not an option.
It's not even an option. You know, it's like if I'm not here, then where am I going to be? It should be even higher, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right? So I did think I'd be far. The type of business I'm running now, I didn't think I'd be running logistics company. Tech, yes. Tech, definitely.
I mean, look, everything is becoming tech-enabled. Even something like mining is actually becoming tech-enabled.
Exactly. And I was actually doing data science in 2019.
Oh, wow. Many traits.
I didn't know that I would not be doing data science today. I mean, we do a lot of data mining, right? But I think at the time, this is literally when I started the company that I'm thinking about growing as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be this long until I stopped using data science on a day-to-day basis. But I mean, I'm heavily focused on getting our brand out there, and I think Mapha as a brand it has immense potential. Right, we're literally positioned to be the biggest delivery brand in Africa. That's the whole idea behind what we're doing.
And the possibility of it is endless.
Exactly, and with Google's help now, we have extremely blown up.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you. That's actually unfortunately all the time we have right now for today. But thank you so much. I would actually want to invite you out again to come do like a full-on, proper conducted interview with you again. I know this one was a bit rushed, but
it was. I mean, we didn't even know we were gonna have an interview.
That's the thing. I only got told, I think, around 9:45 today.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, let me just quickly try to sort this. But it was so nice talking to you and actually hearing your story and hearing the idea of Mapha, and I just love everything about it.
Appreciate it.
And thank you so much for coming on, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you very much.